Just my thoughts in black. Here's another question you can ask in regards to recruitment and retention. I want to put the stress on the word retention. So here's the question. What have been some concrete steps or actions taken to recruit, support, and retain faculty and staff from underrepresented or underserved backgrounds? They'll tell you all about recruitment. They'll show you the numbers of admissions, whether they're teachers or students, but they rarely talk about retention. It's easy to talk about admissions. It's not so easy to talk about attrition. Specifically, how many people drop out, transfer, or leave the program or the school. Hey, I remember back in middle school, when I went to private school for middle and high school, we started with maybe a dozen of minority students, but only a handful of us, I think I can count on one hand, crossed the stage when we were seniors. Right? That attrition has a real effect on you as a student and as a teacher, because you start to look around and think, who looks like me? Who sounds like me? And how long will they be here? How long will I be here? I like to ask a variation of the same question. Who's the highest ranking and or longest standing minority faculty and staff? It's a very bold question, I know, but it gives you a sense of what promotion looks like, retention looks like, and if you can find someone, a mentor or an inspiration for you to stay at that school. It's important to talk about recruitment and retention because some of the things that should be running through your mind, especially as a minority teacher, is what is the cognitive and emotional, social emotional load that you'll be taking on in addition to the academic, teaching, and professional responsibilities and duties that's required of the basic job. A lot of us from underserved backgrounds and underrepresented backgrounds in these predominantly white private schools, the thing that some of our white coworkers don't understand is that we have this extra added cognitive and a social emotional load. It's not easy being a teacher. It's not easy being a token black teacher, token brown teacher, token queer teacher in a room of people that don't look like you, that being your students or your colleagues. And that has an effect on your affect, your motivations, your emotional bandwidth, and quite frankly, your spirit. It can wear on you because you may not have anyone to turn to that looks like you or sounds like you or it's from your background. So do not hesitate to ask this question. If you don't ask about retention, essentially it's a don't ask, don't tell. Of course, they'll show you pie charts. Of course, they'll say, hey, we just hired one or two minority teachers. However, ask them, how long do those teachers tend to stay? And why would they leave? Of course, they'll mention that they've hired 2 new minority teachers in this department. However, you need to ask, how long will those teachers be here? How long have teachers like them stayed here? And they may fumble, they may turn red, they may get uncomfortable, but it's still a very important question to ask in regards to retention. If you don't ask, they won't tell. If you don't ask the question, you won't get any answers. Hold their feet to the fire. Make sure they name, identify, and explain concrete events and examples. I'm an English teacher. So of course, if you're going to make a claim, you've got to support it with evidence. If they can't provide specific reasons on why people would stay, then that's a red flag. No, that doesn't necessarily mean you should leave the interview right away, but it just lets you know, or it should remind you, how long do you want to be in a school like this? Think about where you are in your career, whether you're a beginner, middle of your career, or a veteran. Think about how much do you want to put up with? How much do you want to deal with? Because, of course, you're going to give your all at this particular job. However, you got to think in regards to retention. Will the institution give that same 100% effort and care and investment in you? It's easy to get us in the door. Well, I take that back. Some people don't want us in the room to begin with or at the decision-making table. And it's also easy to kick us out. It is also easy to lay us off. It is also easy to fire us. It is also easy to not renew us because we did not conform, because we did not give in to coercion, because we show love, which may meant going against the grain, which may meant speaking up in a staff meeting about this book, this curriculum, this policy. At the end of the day, be your best self and do it unapologetically. Oh my gosh, here we go again. It just sounds like you're a pessimist. It really sounds like you don't want anybody coming to the school. Why are you so worried about what the next man or woman is doing? You should worry about yourself. Why do you care who's the highest standing or longest member, minority member on campus? That has no bearing on your job, buddy. You put your head down and you do your job. You don't worry about anybody else but yourself. Gosh. The nerve of these people. You come here, we invite you to an interview. You should be grateful, by the way. Not everybody gets interviews, especially at this point in time. But you come to the interview and you want to ask us about recruitment strategies and retention. Look, buddy, pay attention. All right? I'm trying to show you a little bit of respect. This institution is proud to have you for this interview, but don't push it, buddy. You should feel indebted to us. You should feel grateful for this opportunity. You know, when it comes to people being gone or leaving, they were just probably bad apples. They were not a cultural fit, buddy. This is a community school. We only like culture fits. If you look the role, and you dress the role, and you speak like the role, then you don't have to worry, you got the job. But if you deviate from that, well, there's the exit. Hey, I love my job. I love my kids. I love my coworkers. I love them so much, and I love you all so much as teachers, to keep it real with you, to be honest, to be genuine. Some of us don't know what we're walking into when we apply or interview for these schools. So I'm here to give you some information, some insight, so you can come in prepared, feeling confident, as well as having enough information to know how to navigate such interviews and also how to navigate these spaces. I give you this information for peace of mind. I give you this information to set professional and personal boundaries. I give you this information because you're worth it. I give you this information because the institution may not respect you or know how valuable you are. I give you this information not for external validation, but for internal harmony, internal peace, internal groundedness. It is so easy to get lost in sometimes the paycheck. It is so easy to get enamored and enchanted by the school's reputation, the school's name, the prestige, the paper, the paycheck. I'm just keeping it real. But just know, despite all those things, you need to know how valuable you are to yourself and to the institution. You need to value yourself at such a high level that the institution can't bring you down or belittle you or shrink you or undervalue you or underestimate you. And never let an institution dictate or tell you how valuable you are.